Greetings, everyone. My name is Daryl Devine
And I'm King Henry.
of the Time Talkers Podcast.
Ever heard the saying, time shapes our stories?
At the Time Talkers Podcast, we bring those stories to
Through
life.
self-motivation,
Self-determination, and self-empowerment.
so tune in
to the Time Talkers Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe,
Like,
comment, and share.
let's go.
We live.
Time Talks Podcast, man. King Henry, my brother, my cousin Daryl Devine Philly. What's going on, man?
What's up, family? How you doing? Peace, everybody. I'm here, absolutely proud and happy to be here. What's going on, fam?
Hey, man, today we got a co-host, a special guest co-host in here with us, man. Sister Osa A. Moore, you know what I mean? All the way from out there in Boston. How you doing, goddess?
Doing well, always with love and light. How are you?
There you go. You're good. It's only right to bring in the good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hey, we gonna chop it up, man. And he's been patient with us. 'Cause we always have some technical issues, man, with this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to have a podcast for the technical platform. But anyway, man, brother, I want y'all to really just have fun with this, man, because I watched this brother on Facebook, and he's doing this thing, and it reminds me of my early humble beginnings coming into my ancestry and the whole nine. So, without further ado, man, brother, and if I mispronounce his name, I'm supposed to do it correctly. Brother Ruttaskhi Aakhu Aba.
Greetings, peace and power to you all today. Peace and power, how you doing?
Great, brother. Great to see you, man. Great
Good
to see you. You first and foremost, where are you located?
Located in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, great. You know, when I saw you on Facebook, man, I said, man, I sure wish I can get to that store, man. You know, I just love who we are as a people, man. And
Yes.
I had to, hit you up and say, please come on the platform because what you're doing, man. It's like, it reminds me, like I said, it reminds me of my early beginnings. And I was thankful for the brother in Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
He had a shop similar to yours, and I was able to go in there and tap into, some of our ancestry, man. Those items are very crucial, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So just give us some background, man, about the store and your, how you got to get to the level that you're on.
Well, my wife and I, we started this. Her name is Angela, and we started the House of Hathor back in 2016. And this is like our third building that we're in right now, but it's also closer to our home. And we wanted to make sure that we were in our own community, providing service, providing a place where people can come to and be themselves, be in an environment that's safe, that also acknowledges their ancestors as well. So we decided to open up this particular location. It's much larger. It's a cultural arts center. It's a temple, and it's a house. It's a building, but we call it the House of Hathor.
Hmm.
And Hathor was personified as a goddess of family, love, peace, beauty, protection, and guidance. And that's what we wanted our store to reflect as well.
Hmm.
So this is like the ultimate of what we wanted to have here in our own community.
Real powerful, brother. If I get too personal, man, you let me know. You know what I'm
No
saying?
problem.
Um, but I always like to know about people's backstories, man.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, are you? Are you Muslim or
No, no.
no?
I'm everything.
Yeah, there you
You know.
go. There you go. I tell people
Yeah,
all the time, how do we minimize, how dare us minimize the power and the essence, you know what I'm saying, of all that's going on. We say all,
that's correct.
come on, man. You know what I'm
That's
saying? When we
right.
say all, we got to really keep it 100 and deal with
Look,
all, you
when
know.
you're the first, there is nothing that does not excuse you from being a part of it. And
Fact.
that's the one thing that when people come into the store, they'll ask me, "Am I Muslim? Am I part of Ifa, or am I part of the Meta Nature?" And I tell them, "No, I am everything. We're a part of everything." You don't ask God if God is Ifa or if God
Right.
is Christian, and we're made in that same image. So why wouldn't I be everything?
That's
you
right.
know so no, as we continue to build here in the store, everything is a part of our spirituality.
Yeah.
And so, we make sure when people come in that they're comfortable. We don't want anybody to be uncomfortable about talking about anything when they come here. And so, we come from a lot of these humble beginnings. I was brought up in Christianity. I was in Islam at one time. I've learned a lot about Ifa. I've learned a lot about Kemet. I've learned a lot about the Condomble. I've learned a lot about hoodoo and voodoo. I mean, I've learned so much about it. It's all a part of who I am or
Right.
what I am. I don't even like to use the word who, because when you're spiritual, when we're spirit beings, there is no who. It is only the what. And so that is the main experience that we want to give to people. Only two questions you ask yourself every day: what am I, and what am I designed to do?
Mm. That's deep. That's deep. What am I and what am I designed to do? Um,
Yes.
That
I'm a
is deep.
pause. I'm a pause because I know I'm seeing Daryl and Osa's eyes. When you say, "What am I? What am I supposed to do?" Talking about purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pause and let them.
Well, first off, hi and welcome. And
Greetings.
I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying, how you came from all of these different backgrounds, especially starting from Christianity. If you don't
Yes.
mind me asking, how did you transition from going from a space where in Christianity to where you are now?
I saw that I had no connection. I was going to church a lot of different times, and you know, when you're sitting in church and you see all these different people, I would say having the Holy Ghost, and they had this connection, and I felt like something was wrong with me because I never had that feeling. I
Mm,
did, I felt disconnected in everything that I was doing within the church. And so one day I went to my pastor and I asked him, what is it? Uh, what is the difference between someone that is a Christian? What is the difference between that, as well as the difference when we're talking about Jesus? I asked the question: is Jesus the Son of God? And he said, yes, he is. I said, well, then are we all God's children? He said, yes, we are. I said, so that means Jesus is my brother. And then he said, well, no, that's a whole different feel. I said, well, for me, it has to be plain and simple.
right.
If we're all children of God and Jesus is the Son of God, that means that Jesus has to be my brother. And then he really couldn't answer that question for me. He there was a lot of stumbling over words. And once I picked up on that, I said, okay, then this is not right for me.
Mm,
And so, I had to find my way. And then when I went into Islam, I didn't necessarily like the components of Islam, how they treated women or how they looked at women, and I just there was no balance for me. There is no, when it comes to, I'm gonna say, the masculine and the feminine principle, they're equal. There's not one above the other. That we have to walk simultaneously together. And so when I saw that, they may see it differently, but that's how I saw it. And I know that at that time, Spirit was trying to tell me that this is not where Spirit wanted me to be. And so
mm,
my journey had to continue from there. And so when I started learning about the meta nature, I found more peace. I saw where women and men were both the same. They're two different energies, and they all have a specific purpose, but they're still in balance with each other. They're still in harmony with each other. And so I found my place. I found a better connection with spirituality based on that. And so once I learned about chematology, or when I found out more about the basis of that, it being based on my aunt, it being based on the principles of my aunt, I saw that was more of what I am, and not what I gone through being a Christian, or even in my little bit of being a part of Islam. So and then it just moved from there. Learning all the different components, all the things that they didn't teach us in school. I started
yeah.
learning about Marcus Garvey. I read the
Mm,
ISIS papers. I read Nellie Fuller's book. So I started reading all the information that was kept from us, when I was coming up in school, and I started, of course, just as anybody else, you started getting angry, about the
Yep.
fact that so
Yep.
much was kept from us, even from our own teachers that were from my hue. I went back to a lot of my teachers, started asking them questions. How come you didn't teach us this? Why did you keep this from us? Growing, and then the thing about it, I'm a musician also. So I went to my band director, my music teachers, and I asked them the same question, but not realizing my music teachers, they were very conniving on what they did. They taught us a lot of our truth through music. I did not
Yeah.
recognize it
Yeah.
at the time until they started bringing everything back up to me and showing me where our story was in the music. And so I had to pull back from them and say, no, y'all, you did well. Now I understand, why the music is the way that it is and how it vibrates in us and what it does for us. Did that answer your question, sister?
It did. I loved every
Okay.
minute of it.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother. As the script says, study to show thyself approved, and you
I
have
share.
definitely your journey has brought you upon a ton of study, and that's much appreciative. I want to ask you about the art. I see a lot of masks, face masks behind you in art
Yes.
and in the place that you're in right now. Do you create the art yourself, or how do you develop and embellish the art that you have in the store?
Most of our masks, they come from out of Ghana. We have vendors that come to us from out of Africa. Actually, they're coming from up out of New York, but they're from Africa. They're from Ghana. They're from the Gambia. They're from Nigeria, and so we get a lot of those when they come to us. If they like things that represents what our temple is all about, we buy it from them. What you see behind me right now, most of these are from Ghana. They represent either protection, celebration, nurturing, just the infinity of the Creator.
I was going to ask the same question, man. There's a lot of distributors out here in Jersey, man, and they had some pretty decent, things. But then when I did some research and started to inquire about, um, you know, feeding and supplying my business, I was a little disturbed, man, because although they were getting their merchandise from Ghana, they were Jews, and I
Yeah,
was, and I was just like, damn, what I mean? Here they is, blowing. I mean, they got warehouses out here in Jersey, man.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And taking the whole, our whole culture and
That's right.
just capitalizing off of it, man. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yeah,
And so I
we
was,
we've
yeah,
we've had a few um, people from different cultures that have come to into our store, and they want and they buy from us as well. But the question that they have about what it is that we do, we don't. The Creator has always given us the power to discern uh, what you should say and what you should not say. And so, I don't freely give information to unless my spirit really connects. And it doesn't take long for my spirit to connect with anybody.
yeah,
And once I recognize what it is that you're seeking and what you want from me, then either spirit will shut me down and say, "Don't say no more," and because they're trying to pull out information from you. They're wanting to know certain things about the culture, and I just tell them, if you really want to know about the culture, there are plenty of books that are out there for you to read, because I am not, the only thing I can ever do is give you what spirit has told me,
right,
and so when I'm giving you what spirit has told me, I'm giving you my perception,
mm,
so the only truth that we all have is the one that's been given to each and every one of us.
right,
So if all four of us are part of it, are part of the ecosystem. I might be an oak tree. You might be a maple tree. The sister
hmm,
may be a pear tree. The brother divine may be an apple tree. We're all trees, but we're all
right,
different trees. So I can only tell you about what type of tree I am. I can't tell you about what the apple tree
mhm,
is designed to do.
yeah.
So everything is based on perception and your own reality.
And something you had mentioned earlier, man, about being, part of all. You know what I mean? In relevance to what you're saying now, man, talking about just the example of the trees. A lot of times we come across people who are just tapped into the trees and not really paying attention are very forgetful of the roots, and the roots are
Yes,
really what combine us. The roots are really what bring us,
that's right.
together. And these roots will travel. I mean, miles and miles and miles away. I'm
That's right.
saying, and so, it's very important to always make sure, and this is what inspires us and motivates us to reach out to brothers like yourself, no matter where you are. If you are able to, shine and reflect any vibration of your higher self, we want to tap into that and let you know that no matter where we are, we see you and we acknowledge you and we know that we are one. We also know that for businesses like the one that you have, I have a small business myself, and there's periods of times when it's quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
yes,
you hear the black culture more than you see it. You know what I
yes,
mean? So
yes,
by that I mean is that a lot of people will talk about it and want to look good, but they don't really support on a level that would allow us to continue to supply the best merchandise. So
right.
I want to send my peace and strength to you to let you know if you find any dry period, just to keep going and hold on and maintain and stay in tune to what that matters most, because it's bigger than the store. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
It's bigger
It
than
is.
the store. So
And
yeah.
and we do have dry periods. We what happens in most cases, and I think that is the component that we tap into our community more. There has to be some type of connection outside of the store that we have within our own community. So we do have classes that we provide here. We have community partnerships that we have with different people, to where some of them even they rent out a part of our space so that they can have some type of community event here as well.
Nice.
And then on other sides, the classes that we provide, they're free classes. We have a meditation and libation class that we do the first and third Thursday of each month. We have a men's group that meets here the first and third Tuesday of each month. We have open mic spoken word poetry here once a month. So we're doing a lot of different things to keep our community involved into what we do here. But then it also brings new customers in that may not have seen the store. They may see it for the first time. We do a Kwanzaa event here. I'm a part of the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. So we have our Juneteenth festivals that we're a part of, and classes and events. So
Yeah.
we're doing so many different things just to bring the people involved in what we're
Right.
doing.
That's what it is right there. You know what I mean? The one thing about when I was young, man, younger, you know what I'm saying? There was always at least one location where you can go and actually, to be present in, our African culture, man. And so, to hear that you are not just a store, and
Right.
somebody that's just selling products, you actually are involved in the community,
Yes.
it lets us know that, there's people out here that are picking up the torch, man, and saying, hey, it's not so much that we are not visible anymore, it's that we really, once you go seek, you got to look for us. We like precious jewels. You got to look
Yes.
for us. And when you find stores and brothers like yourself, what I mean? We got to support that 100%, man. I'm all about that right there.
Yeah, we get people. We're in a shopping center where we're located right now,
Mm.
and we have had people that come into the store for the first time, but yet they've been to the shopping center.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they say, how come we've been at this location where we are now, 6319 North Main Street here in Columbia. They come in for the first time and they say, how come I never saw the store before? I said, because they say, I come here all the time, but I never really thought about coming in here. I said, because it wasn't time.
Yep.
Only
Yep.
when it's time will the Spirit lead you in here, because there's a specific reason why you're here today. And I said, I'm only waiting on you just to ask the question. And so they fumble around a little bit. They walk around. They say, yeah, well, I do have a question. I said, well, go ahead. Whatever that question is, I said,
Right.
then that's why you came here today. And so now we can have a conversation about what it is that you're looking for, because everybody's looking for something. They're looking for peace. They're looking for protection. They're looking for prosperity. They're looking for oneness. They're looking for something that they
Right.
that they're not finding some other place. The same way I was looking, everybody else is looking as well.
It's just a great thing, brother Abba, man. It's a beautiful thing. I swear I can't even express it, enough, man, to let you know that, and not just your store, but your presence, man. Having seen you physically and seeing you with your kufi on and the crown, you know what I mean, and like how dare you, stand in the image and after the likeness of our ancestors, man. It's like a beautiful thing, man. So hats off to you, man. And, I bow much respect to you for, standing on that post, brother.
Yes, yes.
I know you said that you had provided classes for men. How has that had an impact in the community, and what type of services do you provide?
Well, for the men, we have a session that's called for brothers only. It's a safe place for brothers to come and talk about the things that pertain to us. Men in most cases have a hard time speaking about what they're going through on a daily basis. And so this organization is called the Villager. He has created a part, and he asked if he could have those sessions here to where we can sit and talk about the things, the trials, the obstacles, and the hurdles, the oppressions, depressions, suppressions that we may be going through on a daily basis. And then how do we talk about it, and how do we find solutions to some of the issues that we have as a collective of men as well. And so it's going well. Now I think we've had some ups and downs. We started out, I think, at our old location, we had about 35, 40 men that was coming. But as soon as COVID hit, it kind of shut it down. There was an energy and a spirit that we had, that we was galvanizing and coming together and doing some great things. But as soon as COVID hit, it shut everything down. And then those same brothers, they haven't come back yet. So we're somewhere around maybe 10 that are coming consistently. But again, my thing is, and I say to people all the time, whoever is supposed to be here will be here. And so we just keep it moving from there. As they say, all it takes is a mustard seed. And so we build on what we have, and we do greater things even with that, because what we're doing now that we didn't do then, we were able to come up with a vision statement, a mission statement, a purpose, some objectives. All that happened with these 10 brothers that are coming right now that we weren't able to do before. So we're doing more with less than we did with more before. So I'm appreciative of the brothers that come now, and we sit and talk about all these different complexities of life. Some of the brothers that have lost jobs, some of them that are having family issues, some of them are having just life issues, and we're able to just support each other and help each other, and all of us, and we tend to find our answers when everybody's engaged, everybody's talking. And so somebody else may speak up to a solution that I may need to have myself, and they may not even know that they're speaking about the solution. So we're able to come together and to just speak about that, and it's been a beautiful thing.
Wow, brother, that's very powerful, and it's a beautiful thing that what we do here. Me and King Henry, and welcome again to the show. This is the sister that been on the show before, but not in this role. But one of the things that we do, I actually moderate a session called the King's Roundtable, which is
Okay,
similar to what you were just describing. Um, but instead of it being kind of localized to, like, I guess your group was mostly brothers from South Carolina, we
right.
have brothers from all over the country. So I'd like to maybe chop it up with you a little bit about that after the
Okay,
show, so we could
okay,
kind of bring all that together under one nice umbrella, and get that information, because you're right, brothers don't have a platform to speak freely. One of the
right.
things that we do not do is we do not record the sessions, so that way brothers have an opportunity to say what it is they want to say.
I
Moving
got you.
past that, I like to talk about the library, the books that you incorporate in the store. Is there any type of decorum, or how do you go about that process?
Oh man, our library, we want it to be much bigger than what it is. There's certain books that we keep on hand at all the time. Of course, your books like the Miseducation of the Negro. We keep that here. We keep the Nile Valley's contribution to civilization. We have our regular books that everybody's always, new people are always looking for and asking for. But then we also have books on crystals, on hoodoo or and voodoo. So we incorporate any part of life that we can get in here,
Yeah.
and the books that we know that people are looking for. Because see, there's some books that we had in here that have been here for a very long time, and then we end up having to kind of put those on sale so that we can at least get them out of here. And when people see them on sale, it's like they all automatically come in, they want them,
Yeah.
And so but we do keep a lot of other books, the particulars like the Broader Files, who was that, Mahuda Ashby, Black on Black Violence. We have I know we have the ISIS papers. We have the United Compensatory Code System of Thought, Speech, and Action by Nellie Fuller. We have that book in here. We have the Black Bible of Science. So we're starting to get more of your not so well known books in. We have some local authors that we get books. We have Project Sankofa by some local brothers here, elders here, that they put a book out. I have a book out called Libation, Liberation, Lifestyle, which
Mm.
my particular podcast that I do, that's what is based on, the book that I wrote. So we're still getting more and more into different books that we can have and that we think people will be interested in.
So you say
Absolutely.
you have a book out, brother?
Yes.
Oh man, it's a whole nother half hour right there, yo.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you also have a podcast?
Yeah. Well, it's not a part. Well, as you saw me on Facebook,
Yeah.
I have a YouTube page. It's called Libation Liberation Lifestyle, and so just a little bit about. Let me say, I didn't write the book. I was just the tool used to write the book. The
Mm,
ancestors gave me the information, and they told me what to do with it. But after I wrote the book, I also was told not to read any more books.
mm,
Ancestors said, "We don't want you reading any more books. You have read all that we wanted you to learn about, and we want you to know. Everything else that you'll get, we'll give to you.
mm,
Mm.
Everything is through spirit anyway. We came here blessed with everything that we needed already. We
right,
just forgot our way, and now we're trying to find our way back, and it only comes through spirit.
right.
I always tell people a book didn't give me the breath of life. Spirit gave me that. And so Spirit said, if I gave you the breath of life, I can give you everything else that you need. You just got to sit still long enough in order for you to receive it and
Yeah.
know that it is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I tell as many people as I can, man. Especially praying people. You praying is talking.
Yes,
Meditation is listening. So you got to spend just as much time as listening and learning how to listen as you do praying and learning how to pray. You know.
Ashe, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's on point, brother. Again, man, they can't pass me this mic without saying thank you to you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just powerful, brother. I feel like I had a rebirth. Some things went on with me in the past shadow, last night, and I had a powerful, really Saturday and Sunday today. I had reached out to Dal and said, man, we about to have some good a good spiritual Sunday, man, with the lineup, and the
Yes,
way things work out. We set out to do things a certain way sometimes, but as you said, once you make an alignment is a connection. And once you make that connection, you know, man, them ancestors take over, man. You ain't
they,
you ain't got to do much but show up, bro.
you
You
got to
know
be
what
ready
I'm saying?
for it. You got to be ready for it. You got to
Yeah,
be
man.
ready for it. I tell you
Yeah.
what, my wife and I, we went to. There's a place here in South Carolina. It's called Mullins, South Carolina,
Mm.
and it's 70% black there. They the mayor. It's a black female. Her name is Miko. She asked us to come there yesterday. They have a cemetery there where it's called the Colored Cemetery. That's how old it is. And I think it dates back from 1806 all the way up until 1940 something is the way I think the last headstone that was there. And so they asked me to come there to do a veneration for the ancestors there.
Wow.
And so my wife and I went there yesterday. And when I say that it was a beautiful thing to be at a point here in South Carolina where we're venerating ancestors. and having a greater understanding about they have not been set free from the hold that has been placed on them, and to be able to be there and to do a veneration to cleanse that whole area and to speak those ancestors, so that they could, so that they can surround that whole community and get that 70% of African Americans that are there to move in a different way. That it was such a powerful experience, and I that just helped me out with knowing that the ancestor says you're on the right path. We're going to always send you messages to let you know that you're on the right path, and you have to continue doing what you're doing, because you're living the life as that tree, I guess I would say.
Right.
Those roots are going out further and further and further, and then they're also connecting, as you said earlier, with other trees, because that's the only way the community of trees live. Their roots, they all come together,
Yep.
and they're absorbing the energy from each other so that they can live. That's how they're able to stand the test of time. That's how they're able to weather the storms. That's how they're able to weather the obstacles and the hurdles that man tends to put on nature. So when they think they're chopping the tree down, they can't get all the roots. So that means that the root finds another way to live again. That tree comes up another in another spot that you wasn't even thinking about. So that's the same thing that they try to do with us.
Right.
They tried to get rid of us. They tried to do so many different things to us over 400 to 500 years, but our roots are so strong, we still find a way to show our true selves as spiritual beings having human experiences. And that's the goal for all of us, is to make sure that we find our way, our specific way, to make sure that we are living the life that our ancestors have given us to live.
That's right. That's facts. Again, I want to thank you, man. Um, I believe Osa may have a question in her eyes. It looked like something going on. You know what I'm saying? Osa, you got one last question?
So, I guess I wanted to just ask a little bit more about your book. Like, what are some key takeaways somebody would get from reading your book?
Libation liberation lifestyle is about honoring our ancestors. The more we honor I'm talking about your specific ancestors. My mother and my father has already transitioned. My grandparents have transitioned. A lot of my aunts and my uncles have transitioned. So I'm responsible to make sure that I acknowledge them and that I honor them. And they're my angels. They're the ones that have been protecting me and guiding me and nurturing me. And so I want people to recognize that as you honor your ancestors, you start living a liberated lifestyle just by honoring your specific ancestors.
Right.
If we honor everybody else's ancestors, even without knowing, we honor everybody else, even from paying money. When you pay a dollar bill, that's honoring somebody else's ancestors that's not your own.
Right.
So our ancestors say, well, if you're going to honor everybody else's without knowing, then I want you to know that you need to honor your ancestors so that we can encourage you, inspire you, enlighten you, influence you, enrich you, and to make sure that you have increase, to make sure that you're enhanced with the spirit of your own ancestors. And that's what the book is speaking about. It's speaking about making sure that you honor your ancestors on a daily basis, so that, because all of our ancestors, they're all a part of the creator, and the creator has sent us our own ancestors so that we can make sure that we are entangled with them, and that we can live a more abundant life just by doing that one thing, by honoring them and acknowledging them and venerating them. And that's the whole purpose of me even doing libation. That is the one thing that I know that I have to do for the rest of my time here, is making sure that I honor my ancestors. And
Mm.
so I invite everybody else to do the same thing with their ancestors. Honor your ancestors so that you can, we have 1,504,000 ancestors that live within us. And if you
Wow.
can think about that walking with you every day, you're never alone. You have the spirit of your ancestors that are with
Mm.
you all day, every day.
Facts.
And so as you honor them, they increase you and they give you more abundance. They enrich your life. They protect you and they guide you.
Yeah, that's real talk right there. That question, oh, it's a beautiful question. Um,
Thanks for that.
we always at the end of our segments, man, we ask everybody that we interview, as much as jewels that be dropped and information that's poured out, man, we always ask the final question. Any last words, for the viewers, for the listeners? Bring us out of here with something, brother
Well,
Ivory.
well, I want to go back to what Osa just asked. I just would implore everybody to get in tune to your ancestors. We're talking from a spiritual standpoint because you'll find when you do that, there are a lot of things that you will know about yourself. There's a difference between believing and knowing.
Mm.
When I hear people say, "Well, what do you believe in?" I say, "Well, I don't believe in anything. It's what I know."
Right.
And so when I speak about what I know, that means that you can't change me from the position where I am right now because I've applied it to my life and I know that it works. So therefore, I stay focused on that or on knowing. And so when we move from a position of believing and to a position of knowing, now you're talking about accountability, you're talking about responsibility, and the responsibility only means the ability to respond to what life has given to you. And so when I'm acting on that alone, then I don't have to worry about reacting because I'm only acting on the knowledge that I have within myself and that the ancestors have given to me. And so and again, that's what libation liberation lifestyle is all about. It's
Right.
about acting on the knowledge and and the ability to respond with that knowledge to make life better for myself, my family, and my community.
Deep, brother. Appreciate you, man.
And I
Appreciate
Absolutely.
you
appreciate
much.
you.
Dow is definitely going
Absolutely.
going going to plug in with you, man, on some other things. Um, it's
Stay
always
with us,
good.
brother.
Yeah, it's always good
Yes,
to
yes,
come across brothers like yourself and sisters like Osa A. Moore for joining us in on this Time Talkers podcast segment. You know what I mean? Give your contact information. I know it's been coming across the screen for a minute. You know what I mean?
yes. Well, we can be reached here at the House of Hathor. Our email address is the House of Hathor, Hathor, at gmail.com. Phone number is 803-741-8090. We have a Facebook page, which is the House of Hathor. We also have an Instagram page, which is the House of Hathor. And we also have a Twitter, I think it's Twitter, a Twitter account that's the House of Hathor as well. And so,
No
we
doubt.
if you need to reach out to us, we ask that just at any time. Just if we're not here, we're closed on Sundays and Mondays, but you can still contact us and we'll answer whatever questions you have. If there's anything that you need, we'll do our best to find it, and then we can do it. Now we don't have an online site. Ancestors don't want us to do an online site. They say they want people to come to the store. But if
Yeah.
there's something that somebody needs, we'll let them know what we have, and we can ship it still.
Powerful, brother. Again, thank you
Absolutely,
so
brother.
much, man. Today, the Time Talkers podcast, brother Ruttaskhi Aakhu Aba. You got to say that
Yes,
for the people, man, just
yes,
in case.
yes.
You know, be great, man. Brother Dow, Divine. Again, Osa A. Moore, thank you so much. Until next time, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.